Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Just Enough Heshy show. And again, my co-host Ezra is not here, and I want you to know that he's doing well, even though I still hear music in my ear. I don't know why, but it makes no difference. He's here in spirit, and he's here to help me. Oh, gosh, you can't believe it. I have my own voice on the sound. Anyways, that's why I hear the music. And you see, my producer screamed at me. But Ezra is here in spirit. I know that he had some issues and he couldn't come in, but we still love him, and we're still going to do his commercial for him because we need you to use him because he's always helping me out and he's always going to talk about. We have a lot to talk about on the show. I'm going to be talking about the anti-Semite that they finally sentenced on Friday that nobody came to. I'm going to ask why the cops did what they did. I love my cops, but I still have questions about it. I want to talk about, of course, my competitor, Carmen Yeager. I want to talk about the mandates. I mean, let's end it. I mean, we have a law that says 3 years ago that we have to wear masks. We have to wear masks. Now the mayor says we don't have to wear masks. Both laws cannot be in place at the same time. You've got to make up your mind. Yes, no, maybe, hello, have a good day. Anyways, I'm going to tell you if you want to call into the show tonight, it's me alone. I forgot the number, producer. What is the number to the show? Please post it on the screen and come out and tell me so I can repeat it because I forgot it. I'll tell you something, man. I'm getting old because I've been running around all day long. You know, Sunday I had a funeral. No, I'm sorry. My cousin? He was 84 years old, a Holocaust survivor. I just want you. Oh, here comes the number. The number to call into the show, everybody, is 646-974-1581. 646-974-1581. It's on the screen. Call into the show. Ask me questions. We'll talk to you. I will answer what you have to say because I have a lot to talk about. But my cousin passed away. One of the older guys, he was hiding in the woods with his father and sister during the war. His father was helping collect food with a lot of other people. And the end of the war, like the last couple of days to go, they captured him and they killed him. And this was his oldest son. His sister passed away a couple of years ago. She worked beautiful for the Board of Ed, and as she retired, she just had cancer, died. And this one made it to like 85. He's one of the older ones, and pretty much I'm the last ones that are left in the group. And I'm really from the first generation, even though I'm like 30 years younger than these guys. But my father was married late. And I'm going to talk about my history today. The Campaign Finance Board wants me to talk about what I've done. And I felt embarrassed. I said, why do I have to say that? Well, if you don't come on to Campaign Finance and put up and tell us what you did and do a video, we're going to take off $10,000 from your matching funds. So I'm going to do it. I mean, I wrote up a whole thing about what I'm doing and what I've done, and I want you guys to hear my history of what I've accomplished, even though most of you know what I've done and you call me all the time. But I am now one of the older and leaders of our family. We have like 150 first cousins. I don't even want to tell you how many second and third cousins I have. And most of the second cousins are my age because all these guys had children. Even my niece from my older half-brother is only 2 years younger than me. You believe it? I remember she used to call me Uncle Heshy. We had a good laugh, you know what I mean? But still, that is what I am. I was very sad, and I'm going to go out to Long Island to go visit the family. But I was at the funeral. I did a stop work order inspection. I went did with my team on the street. We collected 200 signatures that day. I went to 2 more things. Then I helped Linda cook all Monday. I went out for signatures again and did some work. And we had 10 people over. And you were all invited, by the way. I don't know. Family came. But my house is always open. You know that, to come over. And, of course, Passover is coming, so that's going to be something special. We'll talk about that. But I had a great Purim. I worked. I helped some people. I did my visiting. I did my volunteer work. And my day goes on. And I did 3 campaign stops. And I just want you to know I had a lady who had cancer, and I was driving her to the doctor all the time, and she's all clear now. And I did a lot more for her because she didn't want to go with other people. She just liked going with me. So I'm so happy that Purim ended up being a great poem for her, that she was able to spend her family, a time with her family, cancer-free, a widow. So let's start our show. And we have a lot to talk about, especially about that anti-Semite and a bunch of other things with the mayor. Call into the show again, 646-974-1581, 646-974-1581. And of course, if you have any criminal problems, it's on the screen right below you. You call Ezra Levy, 917-755-1187. 917-755-1187, or you can email him at ezralevyLawfirm@gmail.com. Again, that's ezralevyLawfirm@gmail.com. He helps you with gun possessions, criminal charges, family matters, family court. I mean, he is a lawyer for all criminal matters. He was a defense attorney for over 30 years. So he is just a guy that you must use if you need him, and I'm hoping you don't need him because I need him all the time for help with a lot of people. We're going to start the show. I have a special guest on the show tonight. He's calling in, a friend of mine, and I'm going to scream at him, but not yet. I need about 10 minutes, and I'll tell you why. Because I want to give you my quote. And I'm running for office. Yes, I'm going to keep reminding you, and I hope they put my name on the screen. It's HeshyTishler.com. You should go there and donate $10, $20, $30. You're right. I raised the most money. I got my matching funds. Remember, there's round 2, and I need to get those matching funds to beat Mr. Kalman Yeager. They're going to play dirty. They've threatened me. And you're going to see an interview next week with me and somebody against Kalman that's going to blow you away. But they keep threatening me, just like that stupid Black Lives Matter Palestinian kid who came to beat me up and kill me in my house. I wasn't scared of him. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not scared only of God. But my story here to you, my pitch to you is, we need to fight back. I know people are telling me, Heshy, you can't play dirty. You got to be straight. You got to take the high ground. Okay, I've taken it. And where does it show me? Unless I fight back, unless I fight with the building department, unless I fight with HPD, unless I show the inspectors they're wrong, unless I show the cops they're wrong and show them the right way. You know, I'm like one of those auditors of the police. I watch them. I love them. But when they're wrong and they don't know the Constitution, they break having a billion legislation laws, and that's why I want to go into city council. It's not acceptable. We have the basic Constitution. Most important people, remember your First Amendment. Remember your Fourth Amendment. Remember the Fifth Amendment. Even when they pull you over and scare you, nobody can scare you or threaten you. Study them. Get the book. I have it in my pocket with me always, just to show it to the thing. And again, they have to have reasonable suspicion to do anything. And not even reasonable. They have to tell you what crime you've committed and the code you've committed. You can't just say, oh, I'm detaining you for such a reason. And they do that. And I love the police, but sometimes you have some crazy people. So again, here's my quote. Leadership is not by size and status, but by courage and powerful mindset. And I put that on my WhatsApp and all my videos this week when I posted for the Happy Purim and other stuff. You got to be a leader. You don't have to be tough and strong and elected or anything like that. You've got to have courage, and you've got to have powerful mindset. You know, I had a guy who screamed at me when I was collecting signatures. I don't know. We did one day like 200 signatures. By the way, everybody, I'm at the 800 signature mark. So I am almost double what I need, but it's not enough because they're going to cut me and know me. You saw what they did to me last time. I'm going for 2,500, so I do need help. So HeshyTishler.com has an email. Donate to my campaign, $10, $20, $30. I could use the matching funds for round 2 so I can beat them and do what I got to do. Again, they don't let me use my own money because right now if I do, I can get in trouble for it. So I'm doing everything by the book, every calculation. I bumped into one of my competitors of the last election, Mr. Bendet. A young kid. He didn't even know what he's doing, paperwork. Somehow he raised $20,000. He came and made them audit me. He checked if my signatures were being done by me. This little rat came over to me in the store and says, oh, you only got 300 votes last time. You're not going to get any more votes. I'm going to get votes. I'm going to win this election. I'm going to win it hands down, and I'm not going to get 1,000 votes. I'm going to get 10,000 votes. I want you guys to come out for me in that Republican primary. show the Republican Party I can do this. Then we go after him in the big election because Carmen Yeager somehow got the conservative line. I don't know why, okay, even though she screamed at me because she's probably getting some kickback. And, of course, he got the Republican line. I don't even know how if they tell me they like me. And by the way, I had a video of me, of my hand around the chairman at a Lee Zeldin convention. And I posted it, and I put his name there. Next to it, I put, with a bunch of other pictures, I support Heshy, because a lot of people told me they support me. They didn't, and I put it in the Heshy support video. I was told I have to take it down. And I took it down, because that's what they told me to do. And the point I'm trying to make to you is that I don't know what they're so scared of Mr. Yeager, who's done nothing. I don't know what he's done. He says, oh, I've done a lot. What have you done? People have told me you've done. One guy came over to me and says, you didn't open the parks. You didn't do nothing. You didn't help us during COVID. I was the only one that stood up. It's straight out open, but people changed it. One guy came over to me and told me that you are Chilul Hashem, you're an embarrassment to the Jews. I said, why? Because nobody stood up, and I stood up. And because of you, you're in this grocery store without a mask, and your store is open, and you're going to pray in the synagogue. Another guy told me I'm like Hitler. I didn't even understand that. I was so angry. A rabbi, okay, he was drunk. Trust me, he was drunk out of his head. But it's unacceptable. I'm not going to tell you his name, but that was unacceptable. And then he asked me for $5,000 for a donation. I mean, you have to hear the nerve of this. He asked me for a donation. He says, you're Hitler. He says, you're going to win only if you're not egotistical. I'm not egotistical, but I believe in myself. I believe in the people. I believe in my neighbors. Anyways, that was my quote. Leadership is not by size and status, but by courage and powerful mindset. And you all have the courage, and you all have powerful mindset. Your parents, your fathers, your mothers, and so on. Here's my joke of the day. And I don't know if my sons are going to like it, but Linda told me again, please, Heshy, skip a week with me. So I'm skipping the week with her, and I'm just going to give you a joke straight about my sons. I was sitting in the backyard, and my son Moshe was playing baseball with his brother Avram. And I'm sitting in the backyard when I hear him scream, oh, no, it's a run home. And I hear his brother Avram say, don't you mean home run? Moshe screams, no, I do really mean run home. I just hit the ball through Mr. Weiss's window. You see, I don't need you to laugh, okay? Even my son Avram is not laughing. But I thought that was a very funny joke. When I was sitting there, I couldn't stop laughing. Anyways, that window cost me $45. That was many years ago. Anyways, that's our show. We're going to start our show, but I want to tell you something, and I want Lenny to hear this. And Lenny's on the phone, and I want him to hear. You can connect Lenny in, because I want to scream at Lenny a little bit, because I believe it's all his fault. Let's see. People are so confused. I don't know what they're confused about. One of our chat members said that. Got to explain that a little bit more. But yeah. People are confused because they're being lied to and tricked to. You know, I want to tell you something. During COVID, 50% of the parents lied about their children having COVID. 50% of the parents said they even got the shot for their kid. They lied about it. 50% of the parents did not even quarantine their children when they said they did. Nobody died. Nobody died. None of the kids died. You didn't hear any mass kids dying. So I'm just telling you, COVID I was right about. Masks I was right about. Look at now. Mayor says no more masks to go into stores. Why? Because they're robbing people. And I'm going to tell you how much robberies happen from turning over stores. Now he doesn't want masks on. Masks were never should have been put on. Masks were the dumbest things, especially those masks. And now they're telling me I have to go make a video by Campaign Finance Board. And I must wear a mask when I come in there. Are they realize us? Anyways, I don't hear Lenny on the phone, so he's not there.
I'm here. I'm listening to you.
Lenny,
I even liked your joke. I thought your joke was cute.
Thank you, friend. Thank you. See, you're a good man. Lenny, can I start the show by screaming at you about item number one?
Everybody else does.
Lenny, I went Friday to the sentencing of this guy, this anti-Semite, Saddam Mossad. Sadat, I don't even care. And nobody came to, no outrage, because he wasn't big. You know, when he came to attack me at my house, he didn't pass by mistake in the middle of Borough Park. He came, he parked. We have a video of him parking and blocking the street. He came out and says, I know where you live. He came out to hurt me and torture me in front of my wife and granddaughter. When the cops came and we found him, they arrested him. Do you know that he bragged that he just beat up some Jew politician, and then they let him go without bail on a misdemeanor? I mean, then he went out and did it twice. And you know what he said in court? You want to hear this, Lenny? He said that because the U.S. attorney finally got involved after he beat up two serious people. They were wearing Israeli flags, and it got me angry. Not that it was a hate crime. It got him angry, his anger issues. And Mr. Tischler, since he was an anti-COVID, anti-masker, and he was a Jew, so I was angry at him and I went after him. And he also, this was the second time he came after me. The first time the cops came and stopped him when he saw me on the street and I was standing there toe-to-toe with him. But the second time he came to my home and he wanted to kill me and try to run me over. And you know how much they gave him, Lenny? You know how much time they gave him? 18 months. 18 months in federal prison. I mean, and he wants to be...
Want to know something? You're lucky you got the 18 months in this day and age.
I know that.
And I say that with, all sarcastic involved. It's ridiculous what these people are getting for the penalty, the crimes that they're committing. It's disgusting.
And I want you to know,
really
Ron Kubi was his lawyer, but he wouldn't get up. Ron Kubi was embarrassed to get up, and this other lawyer got up, I think an Arabic Palestinian guy, and he said, the Israeli people shouldn't have wore the flags at a protest because they were protesting and we were counter-protesting and they came to our side. So that's why you beat them up. First of all, it wasn't true, and you should have seen the beating he gave to the third guy. But he gave them...
What did he do this pro bono? Ron Kubi, I mean...
Had to be...
He's the guy that seems like he would get a lot of money for a case.
Well...
Where does this guy get this money?
Right. He must have done a pro bono, and his whole family showed up. You should have seen maybe about 30, 40 people, all from Arabic descent and covered up and all that stuff, came for him. And they said he has anger issues. His father abused him and hated the Israelis and the Palestinians.
I was thinking of that earlier today. When something happens with the police or anybody, a civilian on the train station, and all these people come out of the woodwork, family members, they show pictures of the child when he was in high school, where are these people beforehand trying to get help for these people?
Right.
They only come out after the tragedy.
And they wrote letters. He's a family leader. Yeah. He's a nice guy. But what I mean, you've seen him attack somebody. And you know what he told everybody? And they have it on tape that, look, I got away with it. He said that. And then he tells all his people, just deny that you were there. I mean, it's on video. And he says, don't worry about it. The police are stupid. And when they came and they arrested me, and you know what he tells the cops? He says, all this for a Jew? That's what he says. And then there was a guy who was probation, his pretrial probation officer. His name was Rothman or Rothstein. He says, I won't go to you. The guy says, I'm not Jewish. He says, spell me your name. And then finally, after fighting him, they finally put him back in jail in the beginning of February. They let him out on not bail, cashless bail of beating up 3 different people at 3 different incidents. Who knows what else he's done. And they let him out. And then, of course, they put him away because he wouldn't sit with the pretrial officer and he called him a Jew. So I guess this pretrial officer was so hateful that he hates Jews that he got angry at the guy. I'm just telling you, they let a man go after 18 months, not anger issues. He's a hateful murderer. He tried to murder me. If he would have killed me, then maybe you would have only given him maybe 24 months. But I'm just telling
you. Is this the democratic society? Is this the new woke society? Yeah. I mean, people like you, working class people, when do we get disgusted enough to actually our votes count of who we want in office that are going to back the crimes up? Get rid of the DAs like Bragg, the drugstores that are closing at record rates because of the shoplifting. And then the commissioner goes on and she's saying it's down. Hey, maybe the numbers are down because all the stores are closing.
Right.
You don't have the choice.
I just want you to know, Lenny, a 21-year-old man was arrested in the shooting of 2 teens near a New York City high school today. And you know what? Yes. He was a trigger-happy criminal with a history of shooting a 16-year-old before that. So this guy, his name is Ousmane Diallo of Crown Heights. And everybody, and the cops themselves said, listen to this one. One of the cops said, he always has a gun and is a known shooter. This is what a Brooklyn officer said. So they know who he is, and still they let him on the streets and they let him go out. He could have killed 3 people. This is your crime.
Listen,
But you know what my
and
favorite crime of the
hey,
week is? Lenny, let me tell you what my favorite crime is. You're going to love this one. It's a story of they go into a restaurant, a bunch of crazies. Did you hear about that?
go ahead.
So the a bunch of I was just reading about it today that a bunch of teens with masks went into a Chinese store and to the eating area, to the dining area, and just tore the place apart. Ripped the place apart. Nobody could tell them who they are. They have masks. They were tyrannizing the place. They robbed some stuff, and they got away with it. They got away with it. How do you do that? How do you get away with stuff like that? And now the mayor is upset. Take off your masks. Now the mayor, stop the mandates, put everything back to normal, get it over with. But slowly they torture us and they torture us. And I know people, you're saying, oh, Heshy keeps repeating it. We have to stop it. And nobody's
No,
insinuating.
you have to keep repeating it because when is it going to stop? When is it? You know, you say that the cops say they know he carries a gun and stuff like that. Let me ask a question, okay? To a family of color that lives on Ocean Parkway and Caton Avenue that work every day, and I'm only picking this out because I want to get a point across. They work every day. They go to work. They come home on the train. They maybe have a teenage son or daughter and stuff like that. Is this the people that wanted stop, question, and frisk stopped? Okay, was that not a good enough tool to get some of these guns off the street? No, they wanted to say it was illegal the way the cops were sizing people up to get these guns off the street. So you know what? Okay, you brought it to the courts. The commissioner heard, the mayor heard. They stopped it. And what's happening? More and more people are dying over the guns that are being
So Lenny, but
non-confiscated.
Lenny, that's why I'm talking to you. When somebody's arrested, he's charged by the cops. The DAs have a right to make it higher or lower or amend the charge. But if a guy comes to shoot you or a guy comes to kill you at your house, you don't just give him a desk appearance ticket or give him a misdemeanor a charge. You go after the top charge. And my guy who came to me, they beat me. You're talking battery. You're talking everything of that nature and tried to run me over. They should have arrested him on a felony, something serious. Instead, they let him go on.
Look who your DAs are. Look
No,
who
but
the
it starts with
people-
the precinct and the police officers.
Nah,
That
it doesn't, Hesh, because they charge the highest crime, and then it gets knocked down. I was
then
a
it
cop
gets
for
knocked
30
down.
years.
But this guy was not right away when he was charged. He was given the lower charge because they thought it was a joke. I'm telling you.
I mean, I can't answer, and it's not that I'm trying to hide it. I just can't answer for that because I don't see how they would have charged a lower than what it could be by saying it was a joke. That doesn't make sense in my mind.
I know. I'm telling you, our crime is crazy. We have, look at this guy. Thank God the jury came back on Jose Gonzalez, you know, the man who ran over the FDNY EMT guy, Yadira Arroyo.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
he's gonna get hopefully 25 years to life. You know what they were trying to say? His defense was to convince the jury that not that he was crazy, that he was so high on PCP he had no idea what he was doing. What the hell was he high on PCP for? That alone was criminal and bad.
But then again, this is our laws in the year 2023. This is our laws in 20. This is now a defense. I was on PCP.
Yeah.
It's not a defense. You shouldn't be on drugs to begin with. And this is why I ask you, is it the Democrats? Is it the woke society? How do we change these when we go to the polls? Where does the people that work get their voice back?
I know it. Not from our, I
You
like.
got Heshy Fishler. You got Scott Lebedo out here in Staten Island. How do we change this? How?
I agree.
How?
We need to again. The people have to come out. You know, Mayor Adams, when he first got elected, he was busy wearing his suits and going to parties. Now he's coming out with different things, and now he's screaming about the mass mandates. And I found the story that I was telling you about, that they're searching for teens ransacking a Queens restaurant in a viral video. There was outrage in this Queens Chinese restaurant where a rowdy group of masked and hooded teenagers ransacked flip tables while horrified workers looked on. Damages at this Fish Village College Point, including large broken windows that were shattered. Saturday night, marauders stormed the and you know, it doesn't take 2-3 minutes. Again, why isn't this being taken care of? Now the mayor, instead of busy with...
Because they say Rikers is overcrowded, it's inhumane. You do something like that and the police catch you, there's no reason why you shouldn't get mandatory 5 years in jail.
Correct.
Put them away for 5 years. Lock these animals up. No, it don't happen.
Yeah, because you know what the mayor is busy with now? He's only a year and something into his mayorship. He should be busy with the city, busy running this city. Now he's campaigning for Biden. He's campaigning for Biden. Who asked you to campaign for Biden? Your job is this city. You have not enough time in. You've been bitching that we're not giving you the time. Stop wasting your time with Biden and be sitting in your office day and night working on helping the city. Instead, our budget now went up another $7 billion. Do you know that we're just throwing money? But I want to just tell you something. Under the Biden administration rule, which is not even 2 years old yet, we've increased our deficit by $8 trillion. Not 8 billion, not 800 billion, $8 trillion. More than what we created in the last 10 years. I mean, this guy is crazy. And our city of New York.
You have to give money to the people that own the hotels that we're putting in illegal migrants. I mean, come on, we're paying food, they're throwing it out in black bags, okay, black garbage bags. You know, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, and we're paying for.
Let me go 36 miles an hour at 2 o'clock in the morning, and a speed camera catches me because I'm a stand-up citizen. I got to pay $50.
Right. Right. You know, one of my brokers called me. He says to me, Heshy, I'm driving on January 1st in the city where it's dead 30 miles an hour through the park where it's 25 miles. He got a ticket. He says, I barely drive. I drive so safe. There's nobody on in those cameras. That we only get 50. We don't get 50. 50% of the money goes to the state. Goes to the contractor or whatever. 25% goes to the state, and maybe we get 25% at the end. And we are maintaining a lot of the problems as well. And you know, half those cameras are defective. And this is what I'm trying to.
I don't want to hear it, Heshy. I got one 2 weeks ago. I went to the court. They tells you right on the paper, we give you a leadway of 10 miles per hour. It was, instead of 35, I was 36, 1 mile over. I went to the judge who looked like a slob. His white shirt wasn't even
right.
It was all wrinkled.
It's not a real judge. They're not real judges. They're administrative judges.
And I told them, a little compassion. You know, a police officer has to calibrate that machine every tour, not every day, every tour. I said, the wind was blowing. I said, how do I know the calibration was right? Guilty.
Right.
Guilty.
I was watching them on the street, and I saw that he didn't calibrate. I asked him the questions on it. I just want you to know, it's not that they want the money and they're fining us and they're punishing us. I was at an inspection the other day. The guy bought the building with a stop work order and a violation on the building. The inspector somehow came in and said, oh, you continue to work on a stop work order. I said, no, we didn't. We have plans and permits now. Oh, it's different than when I saw it. I said, they sold the building. The other guy did it. No, $6,000 fine. I said, well, we're going to go to court. He says, when you win it, we'll give you a refund. I said, you know, it takes me 6 months to get the refund. At least if we're not guilty yet, just because you said it, we should go to court. We're innocent till proven guilty, but not on these tickets. You are guilty till you are found innocent.
Do you really think our forefathers set up these rules for just to milk the common person? It's ridiculous.
You know, I want you to know, if a police officer doesn't like you, and I know, Lenny, you're one of them, that he comes over to the car and says, oh, I suspect you of something. look, I suspect what, or you don't have to open the window for the police officer. You only have to show him your driver's license. You don't have to hand it to him, but you should be kind and nice to him. But sometimes the officer comes over or gives you a story. Oh, you made a right turn or left turn, or your light is cracked. Just doesn't want to give you a shot. I smell drugs. They bring a dog to your car, and then all of a sudden they're suspecting you, and boom, you're dead meat. And again, the First Amendment, you do not have to.
TikTok?
You have to, and most of those dogs don't even pick up the scent. They tell them to sit there so they can search your car. The Fourth Amendment says you cannot search me without a warrant. They found some kind of rule that you're allowed to do, and it's not the real police officers. It's the ones that they teach to go out and give tickets. It's the building department inspectors that they tell, go out and give a ticket for no reason. And I'm asking this inspector the other day, why would you do this? Well, I saw the pictures. I said, but look, nobody's been working here. Everything is perfect the same. He says, I'm coming back. And 2 days later, he came back after we paid the fine. I have to do another inspection. I said, what, do you really think you're going to find something in 2 days? He says, yeah, if I find, I'm going to give you a $12,000 fine. This is what I said, but we had the permits. We had the plans 2 days ago that you should have opened up the job. But again, this is your city, and this is what.
Sanitation police. They come around on a windy day. Of course you're going to find stuff in front of my store. It's windy out.
Right. And then I have to go to court. I'm embarrassed. One of my cousins, an older man, got a ticket. And I didn't want to fight. I said, $50, you're wasting my time. He says, no, Heshy, it's the principle of it. So I went and told the judge. I said, Judge, we swept up in the morning. We tied the boxes up. No, but when the police officer came out, I said, it was the next day. He says, well, too bad. I said, look, here is a weather report, because I'm prepared, that it was raining and it was windy. I said, it's also next to a school where the kids run around. Wasabi, they kicked the garbage and they threw stuff on the floor. I had to make a pitch, sit on the phone for 4 hours to fight this court case for $50. And if not, if we wouldn't have showed up, it would have turned into $100 and $300.
Here's the kicker. Not to interrupt you, but here's the kicker. All of this, what we're talking about, it makes no sense at all when you compare the people that demonstrated against George Floyd. The cops had to take action that they're throwing Molotov cocktails at police cars.
Right.
And the city awards them $6 million.
Do you believe? How much is it? How much? No, was it $6 million? I saw each one gets like $21,000. $1,000
for spitting at police officers, for throwing firebombs at police officers, for throwing rocks at police officers. This is the Constitution of the United States of America. This is what we're now living in.
I want to ask.
This is what we're now living. And you expect what? To go outside and be treated well?
Right.
No, I'm sorry. This is crazy.
I want to ask you a question on the national topic now. I was reading a poll today that Trump has 55%. He is leading Governor Ron DeSantis 55 to 25%. And that poll was also taken in January and even November of last year. They're saying that it's not a good Trump, not a good polling people, but this is the Emerson numbers, and the Emerson numbers are really serious. Just between you and me, we're going to take a poll between you and me. Because everybody else tells me Trump, no good because of hate. Do you believe, number one, are you still a Trump fan? And number two, do you believe Trump?
I'll tell you what I really love to see. Trump, DeSantis, and then DeSantis again. In those 12 years, maybe we could straighten out what Biden destroyed our country. Right. Maybe.
Right. See, I think DeSantis has the guts to do it, but everybody's giving him political advice, and he's scared.
Trump back. I want to know why people absolutely hate Trump. Why? What did this man do? As a nation, we slept better at nighttime.
Right.
We didn't have,
wow. You see, Lenny.
We didn't have Russia. We didn't have
Lenny.
China.
Lenny, stop. Did you hear what you just said? Say that again. At nighttime,
we
what?
Better at night.
That's it. That's it. Right there, you have
As
the
a
best.
country, we slept better at night.
I'm going to write that down.
That man who they said would start a war, and he didn't. He did not start a war. But just the fact that he was capable of, everybody else kept in check. Russia and Ukraine, in my opinion,
North Korea, he had them.
Happened.
North Korea was becoming our friend, and they would have calmed everything down.
Yep.
Wow.
He actually stepped over into North Korea. Our president of the United States stepped over. Now you say to yourself, why do you have to appease this North Korean leader? He's nuts. He's killed his family member with a cannon. Remember?
Yeah.
He put him in front of a cannon and killed him. So what are you going to do? Appease him. We make peace. We make peace.
Well, Trump was great. I would love to see Trump back again. I would love to see 4 years of him, and I'm hoping that this time he knows better.
But they hate him. They make fun of him. All these late-night comedians and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
you know.
They're not even funny anymore. They're not even funny.
I just
back David Letterman.
I just want you to know, I'm on the street. I told you, and I said in the beginning of the show, I was collecting signatures, and they call me Hitler, and they call me this, and they say I'm wild. I just want to tell you a little bit.
Because you speak the truth? Because you speak the truth?
And it's not even that. When they're telling me I didn't open the parks, I was the only one who did it. I was the only one that stood up.
Picture of you opening it
right,
up.
and I went and I went to jail for when the police called me to break up the protests. When I fought for the stores to be open, I went to wedding halls and stopped the sheriffs from coming in to the wedding halls and finding them and putting up $15,000 in case they got fines. And I don't even want to tell you of my history of that I took care of my widowed mother after my Holocaust father survivor died. I know I've said it 100 times. I've been an activist serving the Borough Park Flatbush community for over 35 years. Plus, I help all the boroughs. Do you know that I have been volunteering to distribute food boxes for hundreds of families for over 9 years? I visited jails. I help many people who come out of jail with rehabilitation and find them jobs. I've taken kids into my house with risk. Me and my boys, we through the years, we fight many government agencies. We help people navigate. Over the last 20 plus years, I have helped so many homeowners fight the millions of dollars in fines.
Pay you back. Now it's their time to pay you back.
Right. I fought the mayor's mandates. I don't even want to tell you that all this stuff, other stuff that I'm busy with from morning to night. Plus, just alone on my Down syndrome sister, because I see people taking care of that. I've been taking care for 40 years, and she's so well and healthy. That alone I should take the credit for. But, me and Linda go visit so many people. We visit a Holocaust survivor on the Sabbath. We visit sick people on the Sabbath. We take personal interest in families. You know how many people say to me, oh, Heshy, you're always going to a funeral or visit somebody that the family died. Yes. When somebody's loved one dies and they're sitting there mourning, I know other people come, but sometimes they don't come. So I make sure to come and bring food, or I come there to give them a little laughter and a smile on their face when they're sitting there in sadness. That's what I do for my community. I work from morning to night, visiting, going to weddings, being part of the events, doing my regular job, and then going home exhausted and tired. And yes, I do spend time with Linda, but me and Linda know that if we don't give to the community, and you people out there, give to the community, you have to give back to the community. And if not, when the final days come, and they will come, my children, don't think you're invincible. I believe I'm invincible. I don't want to die. But the point is, the final days will come. What are you going to have to show for it? Nothing. Nothing, because you're going to have your money. That's great. I'm so happy. I have a few dollars put away. By the way, I'm Purim. When people came to my house, I said to them, I can't give you that much. I can give you $50, $25, $10. I gave older kids $5. I gave some older people $100. I said, why don't you go to the big rich guys? So there's a very rich guy, Lenny, in Flatbush. And I'm embarrassed to tell you, he gives out quite a bit of money every single year. And he makes this lavish party. This year, he hired 10 police officers to be bodyguards, stand in front, stand in back, to push you around, to question you.
I think I know where this house is. Yeah,
right.
I think I know, but that's.
Doesn't make, and and people, and he turned people off that even if he would give you $2,000, $3,000, or $10,000, they didn't want to come. They tell me that there was somebody called me to come over. I said, I'm not coming. They said there was maybe 20 people that went to his party and maybe about 15 people that showed up a whole day. I mean, his friend down the block who made a party for $500, not $100, and this guy made a party for $150,000 with all his cop friends and all that. The guy down the block for like $500 was packed and had a party. My friend Moish Liebert, He made a party, and you had like a lot of older people, like my age, 60s. I went there. I went to his party. I went to a masquerade party for nice people. They spent a little bit of money. They made a beautiful party. People mingled. People laughed. People spoke. People enjoyed themselves. You can't be a big shot because you know what? At the end of the day, you're not taking it with you. You have to serve the people. You have to do good for others. And that's my point to you, Lenny. Sometimes I get disappointed, especially when they knock me. And you're right, I shouldn't take it to heart. And I don't take it to heart. But when you're standing there on the street with your wife or your kid or your other people, you don't voice your opinion like that. And people come to me with every kind of problem and issues. But, yeah, it does bother me. And yesterday, especially when that rabbi told me that I was Hitler, it was bad.
I just sent you a text message in regards to this guy. You should try to get him on your show. Somebody sent me this from Twitter. George Baxter Blue. It's at Brooklyn to Florida, and it says how he worked at the 8A precinct with then Lieutenant Adams, and how after he would go in, log onto his computer, do his desk thing for about an hour, and then he would disappear into the lounge for the rest of the tour.
Wow.
But now this guy's the mayor, and he wants everybody to work. He should have practiced what he preaches.
Well, anybody who has anything, you can go onto YouTube and send me a message. I'm going to take a look at them now. You can call into the show, 646-974-1581. You can email justenoughheshy@gmail.com, and I'll take all of that. And don't forget, post my thing. Let's see what any things. I remember sending you a video when you were opposed to the lockdown. You see, people, I still get videos about that. About the lockdown and
well, he's going to have to pay all those cops, firemen, and sanitation workers that didn't want to get the vaccine and the masks and stuff like that he's reversing himself now.
But I was right about it all, and not only was I right, doctors came out. You know, there was there's a pediatric doctor that used to make his videos every day. Not too many people watch it, 102. And he used to knock us. He used to call on other people when they had like little events in their backyard for prayers. A religious Jewish guy from Flatbush, and just he's a pediatric doctor, and said COVID is killing people. He knows COVID is killing people. He sees it. He was lying. And now he's disappeared into the woods. I'm not saying he's a bad man. I tried to get him on my show, but he was hiding because he knew I'd knock him. And look at this now. Mr. 84-year-old or whatever it is, Fauci, he's retired. He's getting a great pension. Nothing's going to happen to him. Yeah, the investigation will go on for 2-3 years. Maybe they're going to, charge him with some falsifying something or what? He's 87 years old. Nobody's going to touch him. And this guy did it for the money. For what money? He didn't have, how many people had to suffer? And yeah, I don't believe the vaccine is killing you, but I believe that not everybody can take a vaccine, and when you force them to do it, they can get sick. They can get paralyzed.
It was the force. It was the force to do it. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have to be forced to do it.
I know that. And again, I was forced to do it. And you're right. I could have stood up for it. And still today, I have people that need some college, a lot of law school colleges won't let you in unless you have the vaccine shot. You know that? Still to this day. Board of Elections, you must wear a mask. Or in the courts, you have to show your vaccine shot, then you can get a pass without wearing a mask. Otherwise, you have to wear a mask. I mean, it's not going away. This new norm, they're still trying to push on us, and we're not going to let them. We've got to stand up. Again, guys, we have our First Amendment. We have the Fifth Amendment. We don't have to answer or tell them anything about us. We have the Fourth Amendment where they can't violate your car, your rights, your personal paperwork.
Yeah, but they go around it.
I know.
Go around it.
I know that.
You say if they want you, they're going to get you.
Yeah,
so if you want to stand up for what is your amendment, they're going to go around you and get you anyway.
I want you to know the Assembly has a set of lawyers just to figure out how to make the legislation that they put into effect legal. They have lawyers to go around the Constitution. Okay, fine. The state Senate has a group of lawyers that we pay out of our budget money. Don't think these lawyers are cheap. Again, how to figure out that any bill that comes up, that if we pass it, it stays to be legal. And if they figure it out, how it gets around the Constitution, even though it breaks the Constitution that what this great country was founded on. And then again, you have, of course, the city council that has a bunch of lawyers that know how to screw the city. I mean, this is just crazy. And by the way, our budget.
I honestly,
Somebody
the
just told
city
me our
council
budget.
right now is running away.
But
What they're doing, unbelievable.
But I'm just telling you, somebody told me our budget is more than is the same size as the budget of the entire state of Florida. But let me just tell you, our budget of New York City is double than the state of Jersey. I mean, come on, guys. I mean,
it has to be. We're giving away the store here, and it's all because of the mayor. We'll take anybody. You know what? He's eating those words now.
Right.
He's eating those words now.
And today they're trying to pass new legislation to give health insurance to transgender so they can be taken care of and given the operation. Now, listen to me. I know when you're sick, we have to take care of you. I have no problem with the LGBTQ. They're supposed to get health insurance to regular people, so they're gay, they're not gay. But if you want to change your gender and you have to go through these bad operations, you pay for it. I don't have to pay for it. I don't have to pay to change your gender. I don't have to pay to take care of you.
They did in the United States Army to that traitor. They made him a woman. Come on, what was his name? I forget his name. Maybe one of you callers could tap it on your screen. They made him a woman, and we had to pay for it.
I don't know, Lenny. It's not that I'm complaining about what's going on. What I'm trying to tell the audience is we can make the change. You have the power to make the change. You have Republicans running in every district right now. Fight for it. You know what bothers me the most? Ina Vernikova, right? She's a Republican.
Yes.
So she has her own race to deal with right now. She's running for re-election. Instead, she's getting mixed into another race. She's now fighting because she doesn't like another guy who's been running as Republican. She's now thinking that she's going to take over the city council. Shouldn't you be busy with legislation? Shouldn't you be busy? You're only in office not even a year and a half, and now you're busy with helping other people get elected, running races, running around. You should be doing your job. You should be working on budgets. You should be working on helping people.
Unfortunately, most of these people think this is a money game.
But she promised.
Jobs,
Lenny,
that's what it is.
Lenny, she promised. She promised to be different. She promised she's younger. She's different. She's a lawyer.
She promised it was going to be law and order too, right? Look what's going on here. Please.
I know.
What did Trump get in on? Drain the swamp. Drain the swamp. They're all full of baloney, and you know it.
Right,
that's why God help you. God help you, because with your values and views, I wish you all the best of luck, but you have to convince these crazy people that you're the real deal, not these other people that promise you the world, and as soon as they win, they turn their back on you.
So I am now doing it the right way. I have a great team out there. We're going door to door for our signatures. I have a great campaign manager, a great lawyer. We're running it as a business. We're not trusting them, even though, again, I got to call Heshy. Listen, we'll make a deal with you. We'll recover all your costs for the election up to date. Let Kalman have the last 2 years. I said, no, no, no. And I told them, I'm warning them. I said to them, I know you're coming out with dirt on me for no reason. Fake dirt. There's nothing you could do on me. Everybody sees me on video. I'm around different meetings. I go to different parties. I speak to different people.
Isn't there something out on him a couple of weeks ago?
And
I read something.
Something serious came out on him a couple of weeks ago, and you're going to see, Lenny.
Yeah.
And it's not me. It was some local internet site that posted it and went viral. Also, it was on other different sites a year ago, and even the city council. And do you know who sits on the ethics committee? He does. But I want you to know, when I went after Governor Cuomo and I told Lindsey Boylan, one of the first ones, he groped you. He did it. Go after him. And she didn't listen to me in the beginning. After a while, somebody must have convinced her better than me, and she went out. And 11 other women came out. I have some women that have come to me. I'm going to make a video, which I have one, and we're going to post it, and I'm hoping other people come forward and say, listen, he's done something bad. If somebody's done something bad, you do it. And if they have the proof and they say it, and not just saying come up with stories. I took a picture the other day with two lesbian women. I didn't know they were lesbian. And not that it made a difference. I have a lot of people that come over to me at weddings, kids.
It doesn't make a difference.
But people are taking pictures with me all the time, and I got pictures sent from from a rabbi. He says, my daughter knows this girl with a friend, and she's a lesbian. You took a picture with her. I said, I'm standing at an event. She came over to me and says, Heshy, can I take a picture with you? I said, sure. So they're both standing.
But you don't control people's lives.
Right.
If she is a lesbian, what does that have to do
And
with
do I
that
ask
picture?
everybody that? You know, today I went to a political event with an Italian event for Mike Ragusa, a fundraiser. They were all taking pictures with me, all the guys. I didn't ask if they're gay, you know, all real Italian men, Lenny. You're talking, these are real men, you know, drinking beer and all that stuff. And a lady came over and asked to take a picture with her husband. I took it. I didn't ask questions. They're a fan, or they want to take a picture with me, or they think I'm...
So now what? Tomorrow I'm going to read about you in organized crime?
I didn't even think... Lenny, oh my God. You now just gave them an idea which way I go. Wow. I never win. I tell you something. I never... And I have cops that take pictures of me. You know who's my favorite fans of all? And I'm the biggest supporter. My sanitation boys. I mean, people make fun of them or don't take them serious. Those are, and Lenny, I love the police. I love the firemen who put their lives on the line. But you don't think the sanitation...
Oh, we know you do. We know.
Right. And you don't think the sanitation people put their lives on the line, driving around the cold, the rain, picking up garbage, who knows what's in some of them sometimes. They keep the streets clean. They fight. They come they are the most consistent people. They are, and they care about you. You know, sometimes they pass by and you see them. You're right, sometimes they get tired, a whole shift, you're doing garbage. Some of them are heavy duty. But these guys are my favorite guys because they do the dirtiest job in this city. And we have to help them. You have to sweep up after them. I have people calling me, coming, you know, he spills the garbage extra on the floor. I said, so he took all your 20 bags. I bet you some of them were so heavy that I couldn't lift it.
If this guy had to stop and pick up every piece of that fell, they never get finished their route.
They never get finished their route. And I'm so proud the sanitation come now at nighttime so they don't block the streets and traffic. Of course, they have to go a little bit during the day. These are my heroes. I love those sanitation guys. You're right. I get angry at the sanitation police because they act stupid, but that's not even our sanitation men. They are inspectors that are hired by a different unit just so they can raise money. You're talking, they're raising money from the sanitation police. They're raising money through the building department, HPD.
But to you and all your listeners, how much can you keep going into our pockets? How much can you keep going into our pockets? The sanitation police, the speed cameras, the property tax. How much can you keep going into the middle class working pockets?
Oh, we could go after your water bill, your taxes. I mean, yeah. I just did my taxes last week. I just want you to know. And I couldn't even discount whatever I discount, they gave me so little. It was worth it for me that my son filed a separate tax return. I lost I only got $1,000 credit, and he had to pay like another $1,200, but at least he gets a working credit, a history. I mean, you're talking, they're taxing us, they're fining us, they're raising the taxes. And you know your interest rates that your Fed is supposed to stop the great inflation, right, or the recession. Do you know that everybody who had mortgages out there are now paying double, almost double? It's crazy. Melinda was screaming at me, Heshy, you know, our mortgages, our payments are double. I said, I know, Linda, I don't know what to do. She says, pay it off, Heshy. And we're going to have to pay it off. Money that we have hidden away or ready for a rainy day, we have to do it so we don't lose every single month an extra $1,000.
Why don't look come after you? You say hidden away. They'll look into your mattress.
They could. They trust me. They look over. I mean, you're talking every dollar we reviewed. I mean, me and Linda our accountant was like saying, Heshy, what else do you have to say? And I told him how much cash I put in, a couple of hundred there, and somebody gave me this. I was so careful. I hope I didn't make any mistakes. And even last year I told him.
What do I hear now that, like every now and then I'll Venmo my kids some money, because, he's in the military, maybe she needs a few dollars. Now they want to tax over 200.
Right.
I heard some kind of rumor
you can't give them money. If you're giving them money, it's a loan, and they have to pay taxes on that. You know what I mean? Till they pay.
I mean, this is crazy.
You can't forgive them of the loan because
you stick $200 in their pocket. It's okay.
All right,
you're
supposed
to use Venmo, now you got to pay taxes on it.
But that's what money is for. That you paid your taxes on it, and you're using it for your family or your relatives. It's just ridiculous of what's going on out there. They're torturing us,
It is.
and I'm
But
happy the
my
Republicans
question
are
to you
stopping.
is, how do we straighten this out? How do we fix
So
this?
we start here now in New York City. You now have in every single district almost a Republican running for city council. You really do, people out there. You're looking at every single district. I'm not talking Democrat, Republican, conservative. Guys, stop listening to these leaders. Go out and you see that those Democratic guys that were there till now, get rid of them. Get rid of them. Guys like Justin Brennan, he's an idiot, wacko, retard. Kalman Yeager, I mean, the man is lost completely. Yes, he's my competitor. I'm talking bad about him, but I'm friendly with him. But when he does something bad, I'm going to knock him. I mean, I want to forget about our personal things between us. A man that stood up in city council a day before and said, oh, wow, 18% in taxes is wrong. Why didn't you fight it for 6 or 8 months or stop that bill from even getting to the floor? I mean, you're talking allowing legislation. Now, you're right, it's a state legislation to shut down our car leasing companies, which I thank God had Simcha Eichenstein help me. But why didn't he come up and meet with these guys over here in the city and come up with a rule? I have a guy now who had a water bill problem, and the city fined him $200,000. And he sat with Kalman Yeager for 8 months. And I saw the last email. Kalman Yeager said, I'm sorry, I can't do nothing to help you. Which I don't believe Kalman even helped him. It was his assistant there. He comes to me in 15 minutes. I gave him the right lawyer, the right people, the right company. We made a settlement for half. The man doesn't have half the money, so I had to get somebody to make a deal with the Department of Finance to make a payment plan. And even that was wrong because I told him we can sue in court. This is what our councilmen do, nothing. They sit there, they have their staff who are inexperienced, people who have no idea of what budgets are. You know how many people I've helped with get budgets, helped them with their houses, their construction budgets, their business budgets. I myself build buildings. I know how to do cost analysis. I belong there because I know the job. I know the trade. I know what the people want. You can't make somebody a commissioner of the building department that has no experience. You can't make somebody an inspector. I mean, I want you to know I'm embarrassed.
Look what he did to the fire department, this moron.
But
look what he did to the fire department.
I had a guy.
She does nothing about it.
I had a guy who was working for me that had some issues. And he had some trouble with jail and wife and girlfriends, whatever. And I gave him a job, and I told him to be an expediter. He's not even by me for 8 months, okay? And he's still learning the forms. He doesn't even know all the laws and codes. I try to take him out on inspections. He's far away. They just made him an HPD inspector. How do you give somebody like that without 2 years minimum experience? Okay, but my experience is great. What he's learned by me, other places can't teach him. My point is, these guys, these inspectors, these chiefs should have been in the field for 7 years. Only hire a master licensed plumber. I was fighting a plumbing inspector one time in court. You got to hear this. And he tells me, I'm a plumbing inspector for 12 years. I said, you know I've been doing plumbing for 25 years? Well, I know what a valve looks like from the 1970s because I was a kid as a helper. I said, 1 minute. You are a helper and a plumber, but you're not a licensed plumber. I work for a licensed company, and I'm telling you the rules. He tells me this guy, Lenny, was about 350 pounds, if to say the least. You know, a big fat guy who sits in his office. He told me, and you're going to love this, when we were fighting in court, and I sat there, and the judge was listening to this. He got a ladder from the tenant, climbed up almost, maybe 15 feet in the air, looked behind the wall to see if the valve, what kind of valve it was. And the valve was a valve that was made in the 1980s, not in the 1970s that I complained. And he said, that's a brand new valve without a permit. I said, really? You did that? I said, Judge, do you believe this fat guy could climb up a ladder and squeeze over there? He says, you can't insult him. I said, sure I can insult him. The man is a liar. The man is a straight-out liar. Even I couldn't do that. But the guy just decided to lie. Why? Because it was a $5,000 penalty, and it made him look good. And he sat in court a whole day, and I fought him, and I fought him, and I fought him. And we ended up losing the case. I appealed it by showing pictures and ending up getting some affidavits from the previous owners. And I won the appeal. But this is what they do.
This is what you got to go through that you know you're right. It's a shame.
I know.
It really is.
And it costs
It
you
really
so
is a
much
shame.
money to fight them. Like, again, last year they fined me $2,500. They said I underpaid my taxes. And you're talking, I've been doing my taxes since I'm 17. I never had problems. The last 3 years, Carmen Yeager and Mr. Bendet have called on me to the tax department, the campaign finance department. They're trying to find me to do something criminal. You know, if you submit the false document, you go to jail. They're trying to find. So Linda paid the bill, and I told Linda, why'd you pay it? She says the accountant would cost $3,000 just to fight a $2,500 bill. So it was.
Yeah.
Do you understand that it cost me more money to
It's like
fight?
the FBI. You
Right.
can't fight the
And,
FBI.
and I went to my accountant this year, and I was screaming at him. What happened? He says, "No, Heshy, you send it to me. I'll take care of it, and I'll take a look at it, and I won't charge you, even though this year he charged me for my taxes." But again, I'm already paying my taxes early because I'm scared. I want them to audit me. I don't want to wait till April 15th. I don't want them to come after me. I want to get whatever I'm supposed to get, and I'm paying my bill. I'm paying my bill just as bad. And remember, it's not only my income tax I pay. I have to pay property tax. I have to pay sales tax. I have to pay my water bill. My so many other taxes that people don't even understand. By the time I'm done, 1/3 of my salary goes to the city. Lenny, do you understand? 1/3.
100%.
I don't know what.
But that's not the end of it. It's everything after that. The red light cameras, the property tax, the sweeping of the sidewalk.
You know,
it's okay.
I-
But then they hit us with extras. It's crazy.
I know that, and I was listening to a comedian today, and he says to me, he just had a baby. When he got home, he got the bill for the yeshiva already, the yeshiva bill already. You know what I mean? That's how crazy this place is, that we're just billing you and taxing.
Yes, I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it, yeah.
And, you know, it was like a funny joke. Like, you can't even wait to get our money out of us. They don't even want to let us breathe. They don't want to let us have a little vacation or time. Me and Linda have been saving.
Actually, things have to change. I'm sorry. They have to
So
change.
that's why I'm telling you, people, we're coming to the end of the show, Lenny, and it was great having you. Guys, Lenny, we've got to tell our people, get out there, vote, switch. You don't have to switch to the Republican Party, but you have to pick a candidate that's not there now. All those guys like Trump said, and Lenny, my last question to you is, if Trump wins, and I'm hoping he will win, do you think he's learned his lesson and will bring the right people around him? He doesn't need these crazies, these professional people. He needs people that are professionals like me in the street that know our
but
business.
when you say that, he fired so many people in the beginning. If it doesn't work, you get rid of them and you start new.
Yeah, but all those guys that he brought in were professionals or experienced that were in government before. We don't want those people that were in government before. We want real lawyers. Right. We want people.
Right. Of the world, for the Lenny Wright of the world. That's what we want.
The guys who are on the other side of this game that want to get in and say, look, you've been wrong. We've been fighting you till now. Now it's a turn to let us in. Yes, hire the professionals, but don't hire the guys that were there, Mr. Trump, President Trump. Hire the guys that have fought those guys and that we couldn't win all the time. But when we did win, we were right, and we're always right. Lenny, I love you so much. You have a great week. A happy Purim, because it was still Purim today.
And your campaign.
Thank you. By the way, when I finish my signatures in April, I'm going to be going down to Florida for about 10 days on a vacation for Passover. And you're all welcome to come to the Seder. I know you're not going to come, but I want you Floridians to know I'm coming down there and to be ready for me. But I will come back on April the 15th.
I don't know if Florida ever be ready for Heshy.
I'm going to be on that beach. I'm going to be screaming, Linda, bring me my pina colada. Bring it to me. I'm going to be screaming. So they're going to hear me.
Stay well, my friend.
You too, my brother. Come on back, everybody. We're going to be campaigning. We'll come out for my signatures. Come out to volunteer me. You know my number. You know my email. I've posted it, and we'll do it again and again. Come on down. Help me. I want to win this election. Thank you so much. Have a good night. See you next Wednesday. Thank you.